In this video, we demonstrate Activity Designer, an activity-centric tool for designing Ubicomp applications. It allows designers to incorporate field data as a basis for design, rapidly create prototypes, easily test them in situ, and analyze a test for next design iteration. Here, let's consider Bob, a designer who is designing Ubicomp technologies for helping people stay healthy. Bob starts the design process by capturing our everyday activities that are relevant to staying healthy. These are represented in Activity Designer as scenes. Each scene is a concrete observation from people's everyday lives. Bob adds video or images to describe a scene visually. He labels what people are doing in a scene as an action, specifies in what condition the action occurred as a situation, and types in comments to describe a scene. Bob can also quickly add a collection of scenes by importing field data that he or others have collected. Bob then starts to describe roles that might be involved in the target domain and their activities of interest. Bob first lets Activity Designer automatically extract roles from the created scenes. For each role, a default list of actions and situations is generated. Bob refines the results by adding or deleting roles, tailoring each role's activities by removing irrelevant items, or enriching the template by adding detailed properties. Bob then creates themes to represent different aspects of staying healthy. For the Staying Physically Active theme, Bob excludes all the items that are irrelevant to exercising. Bob creates 3 themes. Clicking on any of them makes Activity Designer only show the subset of scenes that are relevant to the theme. Based on the modeled activities, Bob starts to create a health monitor prototype for showing the workout and nutrition status of a user and her friend. Bob then visually storyboards how the prototype should behave by creating pages that contain application output and links that represent transitions between pages. To show a goldfish when the user has run 4 times in a week, Bob leverages the activities he has modeled earlier. A designer can drag an action, a situation, an entire scene, or a theme to a storyboard. Here, Bob drags running workout to the link. This creates a condition that says when it is very likely that the prototype user is running, the transition should take place. Bob then transforms the condition into a desired form by interactively customizing different parts of the sentence. To only count running workouts in a gym, Bob adds a gym filter to the condition. Bob then adds another feature for showing the user's workout history by dragging the Staying Physically Active theme to a page. Bob specifies the activity occurrences of interest and what information to show in the sample output table. A designer can use other advanced features provided by Activity Designer as needed. A designer can demonstrate dynamic graphical representations that can be embedded onto a storyboard page and test them independently. A designer can script high-fidelity behaviors in an embedded script editor. The editor automatically maintains the relationship between graphical objects and their associated variable names in the script. To see how a prototype works, a designer can run it anytime in the Activity Designer. The testing workspace has 3 parts. At top is the log viewer, showing the activity logs of each role during a test. At the bottom left is the prototypes panel, containing the prototypes being tested. At the bottom right is the activity simulator for simulating activities. A designer can specify a rate for testing, for example, speeding up beyond real time. He can also drag the time cursor to set a desired test time and zoom in or out the timeline to see more time or more detail as needed. A designer can choose to start a session on the local machine or on a remote server. Here, Bob creates a new session on the local machine. He then tests the prototype by simulating activity information for each role in the activity simulator. A designer can interact with a prototype just like an end user can on a target device. A designer can create a suite of coordinated application prototypes to support a target domain and then test them together. A prototype can be easily deployed to a target device for testing with real users in their everyday lives over an extended period. An activity detection module can be easily added into Activity Designer's in situ test environment. User activities can be inferred using real sensing modules, reported by users themselves via either a web interface at the end of the day or a mobile phone journal application right after an activity occurs. A designer can monitor a test using the testing workspace. A designer can analyze a test by loading the test session, replaying activity logs, and viewing the logs from various dimensions. To allow designers to easily analyze participants' behavior patterns, Activity Designer can generate statistical graphs about participants' activity based on a designer's query. Designers can also export data tables to further analyze participants' activity and interaction patterns in other analysis tools. We have released Activity Designer to the design and research community to obtain feedback and longitudinal usage data.